Catch Your Fear is here now to catch the flow.
I am here to catch the flow.
With stories trending around the world.
Absolutely. Good morning, Dr. Abati. Good morning, Adesua.
Good morning, Kechi.
Good morning, Rufai. How are you doing?
Hi, good morning, Kechi. How are you? Good to see you.
Fantastic. All right, let's begin with the fact that reactions have trailed a social media post by the Special Advisor to President Buhari, Femi Adesina, where he shared an image showing pupils in Katsina State carrying a cardboard with grammatical blunders as they praised the president for feeding them and their fathers. Now, the president was in Katsina on Monday to commission the first national Agricultural Land Development Authority integrated farmer state. And while people are really happy to see the pictures, this is definitely a good move. It's going to, increase interest in agriculture. But the fact that the pupils boldly put out this image. I mean, obviously the kids didn't write this themselves. They obviously had teachers who gave them, the placard. You feeds us in school. Okay, we've lost that image, but it was quite embarrassing to say the least.
I think, and this was put out by the senior special assistant to the president.
Yes.
Can I just say, perhaps we can cut them some slack.
Okay.
But this speaks to a bigger. Maybe he didn't read it. Maybe the senior special assistant to the president, in the rush to push out this image of President Buhari being loved by everyone, including the young and the old. We also saw a video of him yesterday in Daura when people were hailing him. Perhaps it just he didn't look well, but it speaks to a bigger issue that we cannot overlook. These are students; they're supposed to be learning this, and they're in their formation stage. I look at these faces and I see their children, perhaps below even 15 years of age. And if at their formation age we cannot teach and correct them, then we have a bigger problem on our hands. But it's also not new. It's not news. It's not a hidden fact that when it comes to some of these indices in education, we have them at the worst from the northern part of the country, where standards are lowered just because of federal character. We want them to be everywhere. We see standards are lowered, and then we let things slide. We should not allow this slide. Exactly. Education is very important, and anything as little as this error should not be allowed.
Well, it's as follows. Education has been a great problem in the northern part of Nigeria since 1957. Following the introduction of a universal primary education or free education in the Southwest in 1955 by the Awolowo government in the Western region. Other regions picked it up. The Eastern region followed suit. The Eastern region made significant progress with it. By 1957, Northern leaders also thought they should focus on education. But out of all the regions that tried to place emphasis on education since then, the northern part of Nigeria continues to lag behind. And that is why successive administrations emphasize the need to improve on school enrollment, quality education in the northern part of the country. So if you see these young persons, committing this grammatical blunder that will put lexis and syntax and all of that to shame, then you shouldn't be surprised. Was it not in this same northern part of the country that the governor of Kaduna State, Governor Nasir El-Rufai, who is a well-educated man, the problem in the north is that there is a minority that is well-educated, and then you have a majority that does not want to go to school. He organized an exam for, is it primary school or secondary school teachers, in the same subjects that these teachers were teaching, and they failed. The bulk of them failed, and he said he was going to fire them. And people raised an uproar, and he said, no, these people are not good enough. They have to get out of the system. Have we not also seen cases of girls from the north abducted by Boko Haram who were interviewed and they could not speak English? Now, the concern is that those ones are in the majority. Some of them have since gone ahead to get degrees. So really, education remains a major problem in the north. The bigger concern, however, is that that virus of illiteracy, of poor quality of education has now become nationwide. It's not just in the north that schools provided are in poor state. That virus has spread across Nigeria. Don't be surprised. In parts of the south, You also find people who carry placards with grammatical blunders. And yet, this is a country that wants to compete in the future. How do we compete internationally if we're now producing a generation of children, of educated, so-called educated persons who cannot communicate in the official language of the country, or if you like, a language of major global competition from where we come from? The second part about the expression of gratitude. Well, there's something in politics they call rent a crowd. Is it possible that these children were rented and somebody provided the cardboard for them? The third point is the attempt to show that the president is popular in his hometown. He was in Daura, Katsina. And in fact, they went a step further beyond the cardboards. The president, walked from the prayer ground to his residence, where he later received NYSC participants who were lucky enough to go away with 2 cows, 20 bags of rice, and 1 million naira. And some people were so excited, and I heard some people saying, shouldn't we also go and visit the president so that we can get our share of the cows in his farm? But the question that others have raised is that, okay, it can be popular in Daura, but would they like to also go to the streets of Onitsha? Or anywhere in the East, and then walk in public like that, whether anybody will carry a placard or they will carry stones. Well, I don't think that the security persons around them will offer that advice. Now, the president is talking about Land Development Authority. And what was reported is that, look, not enough land in Nigeria is being cultivated for agricultural purposes. And okay, as part of the attempt of his administration to ensure food security. So we've been hearing about this land development agency, estates are being established, but the big question is about security. Even if you say you want to encourage farming, what do you do? And the president himself addressed the issue. He called on the security agencies to ensure that there is enough security so that people can go to their farms and do what they must do. But there are so many other issues, including the flooding that has been talked about this week on this program. If the Cameroonians open up their Lagdo Dam, or the entire floodplains, the lower river basins in Nigeria will be flooded in about 33 states, as was the case in 2014. So it's just a very complex situation, but you can understand where Femi Adesina is coming from. His own concern will not necessarily be grammar or education. His own concern is to show that the president is loved by young people. And every president, every politician likes to be loved. I have not seen any politician that does not want people to praise him.
Number 5.
All right, Kachi, thank you so much. Real quickly, there are 3 things I'd like to unpack. Number 1, the grammatical blunder is an indication that education has failed in this country. So for me, even if young people bring up a banner and say they have been fed, thank you so much to the president, the question is, we should also juxtapose that with the start of out-of-school children. What is the number now? 10 million? 15 million? Nigeria has one of the highest number of out-of-school children in the world. You can't dispute that. That's a fact. Equally, let's not forget the fact that Nigeria has one of the lowest rates of primary school completion too. Out of every 10 Nigerians that go to primary school, maybe only 4 or 5 get to complete primary school. That's sad. So people don't even complete primary school in this country. Thirdly, let's not forget the fact that if you were to take a PISA test, a test of education proficiency, reading and numeracy among children less than the age of 15, Nigeria will do very woefully. Because a lot of children between the ages of 0 to about 10, 15 cannot do basic computations in this country and cannot write properly. And that's indicative in that stuff. But some people have said maybe it was even an adult that wrote that thing for the children just to carry. That's another part to it. So, and Dr. Abati, it's good you went historical. We all know that the northern region had primary school enrollment rate prior to 1959 of 250,000, when the south and the east had 1.25 million each. And the east even superseded the south at the point, and then the west, after free education, did reflate those numbers. If you put up a campaign that the president is popular, the question is, yes, popularity taken, does it address the niggling challenges on ground in the country? We need to build a nation where it's not about popularity, but it's about solution to the problems. And that leads me to the conversation on what is even the KPI of this administration. At the end of this administration, how many children that are out of school can we say we have put back in school? What is the level of numeracy and literacy in Nigeria at the end of this administration? Because when you look at it, those are the indices you will be judged by. So, have we helped reduce or halve the number of children that are out of school? Have we reduced the number of children that are in IDP camps? Most importantly, if we are to take a PISA test and put Nigerian students or pupils forward, how well are they going to fare against their counterparts in Taiwan and Singapore or Estonia? Those are the formative questions in all of this. Not the test of popularity. The most important thing is data and facts don't lie. And what are the KPIs that the Nigerian government can achieve for the people? Because you see, once you achieve these KPIs, then poverty and inequality in Nigerian society starts to go down, and you have a little of restiveness, and people are going back to work, and you provide an enabling environment for them to work. So let's talk about the facts.
I agree with you, Rufai.
Popularity is a case of sentiments. What are the facts on ground?
It's essential to
there are
discuss
students
those facts.
out of school in Nigeria.
Exactly. Exactly. I couldn't agree with you more. Well, we're going to take a short break now. When we get back to the morning show, we'll be talking about a story that's happening in Ghana. Stay with us. Welcome back to the morning show. Let's take another story trending in Ghana. A video of the youth of Damongo town in the country on Monday rejected bags of rice sent to them by Samuel Abu Jinapos of the New Patriotic Party, who represents their constituency in the parliament, having, giving them this presents and them saying that they want jobs instead and not bags of rice. Let's take a look at that. Exactly, Dr. Abati, a video of youths returning bags of rice, saying that they want jobs. I think this honestly is something that we can relate to here in Nigeria.
Well, isn't it ironic? At the time when NYC members visited the president of Nigeria and they were given 20 bags of rice, 1 million naira, and 2 cows, and they ended up singing the national anthem and saluting the president. So will it happen here in Nigeria?
I think you mentioned that.
I doubt, because even here in Nigeria, if you give a young Nigerians rabbits or a Congo of gari, they will jump at it. Congo, it's a unit of measurement that people use in the market in Nigeria. So some people will ask the question, can it happen here? Well, maybe not. But in Ghana, we have to put this in context. Since May, young Nigerians have been protesting against the quality, young Ghanaians have been protesting against the quality of governance in the country. They call it Fix the Country. They say Fix Ghana. And they've been saying that, look, they are not going to give up until they see an improvement in the performance of the ruling government led by Nana Akufo-Addo. Now, this is a clear demonstration that those angry Nigerian youths are not giving up. Unemployment, Ghanaian youths, I keep talking about Nigeria. You see, I'm a patriot. One, they are complaining about the unemployment rate. They are complaining about even the rise in the pump price of fuel in Ghana. They are complaining about the rising cost of everything and what seems to be increasing alienation between the Akufo-Addo government and the people. In fact, organized labor in Ghana had to go onto the streets. Even the opposition party, the NDC, also at some point went onto the streets. Now, this gentleman, Samuel Jinapos, representing this particular constituency, is a member of government. I think he's the minister in charge of lands and natural resources. That Ministry of Natural Resources is in charge of mining. So in the spirit of Salah, He thought he would send bags of rice to his constituents, but they rejected it. In fact, they chased the politicians away. In fact, they took the bags of rice and returned the bags into the Hillock's van that brought the bags of rice. And they were saying, give us jobs. We don't need your rice. So for me, this is a case of constituents, speaking back, writing back, protesting in the presence of their representatives in government. And they are saying, basically, that stomach infrastructure is not what they are looking for. But here in Nigeria, stomach infrastructure is the big deal. When I was running for office as a deputy governor and we went out on campaigns, we used to go about with leaflets, these leaflets. We will do this, we will do that. If you gave the leaflets to the people, they will throw it back at you. And they say, don't give us leaflets, give us money. So in Nigeria, people sell their mandate, and then they collect 2,000 from you, they collect 5,000 from you, and then they suffer for months, for years thereafter. What has happened in Ghana is a good example for people to say, look, we demand governance. We don't want bags of rice or gallons of oil that we will eat, and the politicians will do as they wish.
This is why, before you get in, it's ironic because this is one thing that we have said, that has been said for a long time, as a lot of countries in Africa begin to look through their system and restructure, the idea that people want jobs, not food. It just goes to show that politicians are politicians everywhere, whether it's Nigeria, it's Ghana, there's always going to be that ideology that, listen, let's try and give them a little incentive first and see if they're going to sell their vote.
Funny enough, when I saw the story, I decided to do a bit of research, and I found that there's a long history of politicians actually using food to get votes, even in America, in the United Kingdom. It dates back. However, what we are seeing in Africa, in Nigeria, is that even when they are voted into power, they still try to use food to boost their, their presence and posture in power. And I do agree with Dr. Bati that this should be commended. However, I remember a story here in Lagos. I think that was during the NSAS or in the start of the pandemic. The current Speaker of the Lagos State House of Assembly sent, I think it was loaves of bread to his constituents, and they turned them into football, playing the bread loaves on the street. So yes, there's stomach infrastructure, but sometimes the people should need to stand up for what they want. And I do think we should commend the Lagos State residents who also did that at that point.
Maybe they thought the loaves of bread were inadequate.
The irony of that video
loaf of bread.
The bread was, how can you bring bread?
Yes.
That was the comment, not give us jobs. How can you bring bread?
Well, that's another distinction. So I do agree that, there should be a line. When you go into, when you're seeking votes, there's a manifesto. You promise the people what you're going to do. When you get into power, you should also be held to those promises that you have made to the people. And it's something we should emulate.
Absolutely. Rifai, let's get on the conversation.
So I think it's funny that African leaders are missing the point. Africa has a youth bulge. Africa has a little over 1 billion population. A sizable portion of that, close to about a quarter or half of that, are young people. And most of them are jobless. In Ghana, unemployment rate plateaus around 12% thereabout. Inflation high. Ghanaians have been going on rampage with a protest called Fix the Nation. And that has been the case. And you think by giving them food, you'll fix the problem? It's a lie. And this is not only for Ghana. This is for all African countries and African leaders to start thinking about how they can provide jobs for young people in Africa. Because it's obvious. Food is just a meal for a day. All right? Give a man fish and teach him how to fish. So what they are saying is, you need to teach us how to fish. And the Ghanaian government should do more than just giving bags of rice. Empower people in such a way they are able to buy their own bags of rice. Because human dignity says, I want to go to the market, buy my own food, if the economy is doing well. So this is just an indication that the economy is not doing well. And it is a ticking time bomb all over Africa. And that's why you're seeing uprising everywhere in Africa. The youth are revolting because nothing is done for them. No jobs is being provided. And this is the same Ghana that has a policy of one factory per district. So it's obvious that the factories are not firing full cylinder because a lot of people are not working. I think the narrative the Ghanaian government should be about how many jobs have they created for Ghanaians month on month, rather than how many bags of rice are they giving to Ghanaians every month.
Absolutely. The people want independence, and the government needs to empower the people to get this independence for themselves. Well, that is all today on What's Trending around, the world. Thanks for having me on the show
really?
today.
I thought you still had a few minutes to take your final story.
I wish we could. Okay, I think we can actually, take the final story, one more story. Okay, now this has to do with a situation where young North Koreans have been warned that they must follow traditional styles and adhere to the country's dialect. This secluded state's official newspaper made this demand as Pyongyang tries to eradicate cultural influences from South Korea. Now, these influences include the language, the clothing, the hairstyles, music preferences. In fact, late last year, harsh new measures were introduced that mean parents can face up to 15 years in a prison camp if their children are caught enjoying South Korean entertainment or copying the way they speak, which is ironic because South Korea is becoming the hub of entertainment when it comes to music, arts, and culture, especially within the Asian province. So to say this is to almost, ask them to not enjoy any form of entertainment at all.
You have to understand that the two Koreans are still technically at war, despite the armistice of 1953.
Yes.
And it's not just, for me, I think it's beyond the cultural influences Pyongyang is trying to block. It goes beyond that. This is a dictator, he's an authoritarian. He's trying to, locks the North Koreans against the world, and he feeds them propaganda. So it's not just about cultural influences for me, it's beyond that.
Definitely is.
Well, which is very sad because the Korean Peninsula used to be one country until the ideological war separated them and until the war that broke out 1950 to 1953. A demilitarized zone was created, but they're still at war. In 2018, there was an attempt to sign a peace treaty. But what you have in North Korea is a dictatorship. In fact, if you import anything from America, it's death sentence. If you listen to music from South Korea, you go to jail for 15 years. If you are seen behaving like you want to go to South Korea, it is life sentence. But we hope that the war will end someday. This is part of the fallout of the Cold War. Absolutely. Thank you very much.
Now that's all.
Thank you very much,
Kachi.
Thanks for having me.
For catching it every day.
As always.
And that's all on today's edition of The Morning Show.